Welcome to Mathenatic. We are busy revising statistics for grade 12 mathematics. And in this video, we'll focus on an exam type question. And as you can see, the question is quite wordy. And sometimes when we see these long questions with a lot of reading, we get anxious and nervous. But let's read through the question and deal with it step by step. At a certain school, the staff committee wanted to determine how many glasses of water the staff drank during a school day. The information is shown in the table below. So we are given this frequency table, and here we can see the intervals that represent the glasses of water that staff drank per day, and the number of staff members that fall within those intervals. The first question says, complete the cumulative frequency column. So in your exam paper, you would have an extra column where you can complete the cumulative frequency. Now in a previous video, I showed you how to do this. But a quick recap, the cumulative frequency represents the total up until a certain interval. So in our first interval, the total number of people observed were 5. In the first and second interval together, we had 5 plus 15, so that is 20 people. In the third interval, we have 20 plus 13, or we can say 5 plus 15 plus 13, and that is 33 people in total. And we do the same thing for the last two intervals. So we can see in total, we have interviewed 40 staff members. And that is our next question. How many staff members were interviewed? So 40 staff members were interviewed, as it is the final value within our cumulative frequency column. Question 3. How many staff members drank fewer than 6 glasses of water? And that total is 33 staff members. So can you see in our intervals? If we want to observe fewer than 6 glasses of water, it's all of these intervals from 0 up until 6. So the total number of people is 5 plus 15 plus 13. Now the next question is where we get a little anxious. It says, the committee observed that K teachers were absent on the day of the interviews. It was found that half of these K teachers drank from 0 to 2 glasses of water per day, while the remainder drank from 4 to fewer than 6, or from 4 to 6 glasses of water per day. When these K teachers were included in the data, the estimated mean is 4 glasses of water per day. How many teachers were absent for the interviews? So before we discuss the solution, let us make sense of the information given. See, if I look at my table, it tells me that K amount of teachers were absent. Half of those K members fall within the first interval, and the other half of those K members fall within the third interval. We know that there were 40 people observed, but this is not the actual total. Remember, some were absent, so the new total would be 40 plus K. And in order to find the estimated mean, you need to use the midpoints of the intervals. So we'll use 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 as our reference points, and we multiply that with the number of people per interval. But remember, this first interval is 5 plus a half K, and the third interval is 13 plus a half K, and we'll multiply that with 1. The third one will multiply with 5. In the second interval, we'll have 3 times 15. In the fourth interval, we'll have 7 times 5. And in the last interval, 9 times 2. But it's about remembering where to place those K amount of members. Also remember that the total number of people would change as well. The other part of the information is that the estimated mean is equal to 4. So here is the solution that I used. So the estimated mean is 4. The total number of people in the study is 40 plus k. So remember, to find the mean, we need the number of people in the study, which is now 40 plus k. And in the numerator, we had the estimated total. So in the first line, we said it's the midpoint multiplied with the total number of people within that interval. In our second interval, the midpoint was 3, and we had 15 people. So let me show you where that comes from. We have 3 as the midpoint times 15. In the third interval, the midpoint is 5, and we multiplied it with 13 plus a half k. So that is what I do there. And for the second and the last interval, we have 7 times 5 and 9 times 2 respectively. So we have 7 times 5 and 9 times 2. Now remember to put it over the total number of people observed. And now it becomes a linear equation where I say 4 times 40 plus k, that is 160 plus 4k, is equals to this numerator simplified. So all that I've done is I've multiplied out correctly. So in the first term here, it becomes 5 plus k over 2. Then 3 times 5 is 45. 5 times 13 is 65. And then 5 times k over 2 is 5 over 2k plus 35 plus 18. If I add all of these terms together, I have half k plus 2.5 k becomes 3k, and all the values add up to 168. Then I take this k to the left, and that becomes 4k minus 3k, which is 1k, and 168 minus 160, and that is equals to 8. Thank you for watching. Remember to show your support by hitting the like button and subscribing to Mathenatic.